Okay, are we live? Yes, we're live. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to, doesn't want me to rotate. Okay, looks like I'm gonna do this handheld, guys. Sorry about that. Still a novice at all this stuff. So I wanted to give you guys an update on the 2020 Arnold Classic lineup, which has not officially been released yet. However, my boss, Steve Bleckman, owner of Muscular Development, had a good talk yesterday with Bob Lorimer, and the Lorimers, Jim and Bob, they work all year long to secure the lineup for the next year's show to make sure it's the best possible lineup for the Arnold Classic. So even though the lineup isn't officially set yet, we do have some solid information on who is in and who is out. I'm going to start right away with who's out because it's always good to give the bad news first. And we want all the best bodybuilders in the world in this. But unfortunately, it turns out Shawn Rhoden, the 2018 Mr. Olympia champion, who was suspended from being in the Mr. Olympia, he was being promoted as entering this contest next March, the Arnold Classic. However, he will not be competing. Not exactly sure why. Last we heard, he was not a member in good standing with the IFBB because he didn't renew his card. But obviously, there's a lot of things going on with him in his legal case right now that need to be resolved before he gets back onto the IFBB stage. So that'll be happening. We can't wait to see Shawn back. He's an excellent bodybuilder. Obviously, he was Mr. Olympia. He is Mr. Olympia. So there's going to be no Shawn Rhoden in the Arnold. There's going to be no Phil Heath. Phil Heath probably going to be in the Mr. Olympia. We're guessing he's going to go for his 8th title. And then very, very, I won't even say likely. Of course, he's going to go in the Athleticon in October of next year because he is managed by Danny Garcia, who is the ex-wife of Dwayne Johnson and the co-promoter of Athleticon. So, of course, Phil Heath will be in that contest. Last man we won't be seeing in the Arnold is 5-time Arnold Classic champ Dexter Jackson. Happy belated 50th birthday, Dexter. Dexter actually just turned 50 a couple days ago. We've been calling him 50 for a long time, but he actually was not 50 until very, very recently. Just turned 50. Okay, so now with that out of the way, let's talk about who is in the show. So the biggest news is Big Ramy. We did not see Big Ramy at all this year, 2019, on a contest stage except as guest posing. Last couple guest posings he did, he was looking so good that most of us assumed he was going to jump into one of these post-Olympia shows and qualify. He certainly could have. No offense against the guys who won these last few shows. They were excellent, Cedric and so on, Juan Morel. However, Big Ramy in shape. Come on, he was second in the Olympia. He's a 2-time New York Pro champ. Ramy is just, he's on a little higher level than most of these guys. So Big Ramy will be doing the Arnold Classic for the very first time. Now, he did win the Arnold Classic in Brazil in 2015. He won the Arnold Classic in Europe in 2017. However, Ramy has never, ever competed in the main event, the Arnold Classic Columbus, Ohio. So we're very much looking forward to that. Could he win? Of course he could win that show. Like I said, Ramy's been as high as second at the Olympia. Not sure what the coaching situation is with him at the moment, but geez, tons of muscle mass, great shape. When he nails his condition, there's very few people in this world that can beat Ramy. Next up, Steve Coock Low. Steve Coock Low is committed to do the Arnold Classic again. Steve actually has only done this show twice. He turned pro back in 2011, yet he has only competed in the Arnold Classic Ohio. He did win Brazil a few years back. He competed in the Arnold Ohio in 2018, took 5th place, did it again in 2019, took 6th. We saw Steve take 6th place at the Olympia just a couple months ago, looking phenomenal. Steve is definitely at the level now where he could win a show like this. Next up, very exciting, Sergio Oliva Jr. Sergio Oliva Jr., who we have not seen at all on a stage since Olympia 2018. September 2018 was the last time Sergio Oliva competed. He's been taking all this time off to make improvements, basically in size, as big as he was competing around 270. I still felt he has got a big frame, that guy, and he just needs to fill it out, and he has been filling it out. I saw him most recently at the Legion Sports Fest a couple weeks back out in Long Beach, California, looking huge, staying pretty lean at the same time. He was over 300 pounds. I believe he said he was like 310, 312, something like that. Sergio could be a real surprise at this show because, like I said, we saw the last version of him we saw was not the complete version, not the final evolution. And I think we're going to see something much closer to that this time. Sergio Oliva Jr. going to be huge, ripped, and he's one of my favorites for the show. Next up, William Banach, who won this show in 2018, took a very close second this year, 2019, to Brandon Curry. Brandon obviously went on to win the Olympia. William is 85% committed. He's not fully committed to doing the show yet. He did have a slight hamstring repair surgery, I believe it was, something to do with his hamstring following the Olympia. He's letting that heal, and I guess he's playing it day by day, week by week. I believe he wants to do the show. He would love to get that title again. It's a great title to have, but he's not fully certain yet. Next up, for sure, though, we will be seeing Australia's Josh Lonardo. Josh was in the show last year. Condition was not the best. I love this guy's physique when he's in perfect shape. When anybody's a little bit off, it hurts him. He was down in 8th place. He did win Best Poser, and he did place a little bit higher for sure in the Arnold Australia that followed. Josh obviously had a tough 2019. He was knocked out of the Olympia by they found a tumor on his scalp that could have migrated somehow into his brain. He's all set now. He's fully healed up, ready to go. And we're looking forward to seeing Josh Lonardo back on the Arnold Classic Ohio stage. Next up, another big exciting news. Patrick Moore, who was definitely one of the breakout stars of this last Olympia. I'd say the two big sensations of the last Olympia were Patrick Moore and Hadi Choopan. If you were just listening over here in conversations, those are the two people that you were hearing the most about as being the biggest surprises in the show. Patrick especially, we knew Hadi was very, very good. We had just seen him win the Vancouver show back in July. But Patrick, a little under the radar because there wasn't as much coverage of that California Pro that he won. He wasn't in anybody's Olympia predictions. He certainly wasn't in mine, but man, he looked great. 10th place. We did an interview. You can find that on the YouTube channel, a Ronline interview. And he's been making improvements. He's one of those guys who can stay lean, he can prep and put on muscle. There's not a lot of guys like that, but there are pros that have done that. He seems to be one of them. He's growing and improving. You can see on our YouTube channel, he's got some very recent workout videos. He's putting on some very good size and he's staying very, very tight. Next up on the list of guys committed to this Arnold Classic, Cederick Mcmillian. So Cedric was the 2017 champ of this show. He's been 3rd and 4th place the last couple years. Cedric just won a couple of shows, the post-Olympia shows. Cedric, when he's on his game, when Cedric is in shape, it's a beautiful physique. There's no one that has quite that combination with the structure, the shape, that small waist, the flowing muscle bellies. Cedric really is kind of a modern-day version of the old school guys like Arnold. So Cedric throwing his hat into the ring for the Arnold Classic 2020. That's going to be great. And Roelly Winklaar is next on the list. Roelly Winklaar. So Roelly turned pro at the 2009 Arnold Amateur, and his pro debut was the 2010, I'm not sure what we're supposed to say these days, Arnold Classic. This is a show that has a very deep meaning to him. He wanted to win it this past year because, like I said, that would have been 10 years since he turned pro in Ohio. But this is kind of cool, too, if he was able to win it, 10 years after making his pro debut there. That would be one of those full circle things. We know he won the Arnold Australia in 2018. He was 4th at this Arnold in 2018. He did have a little hamstring tear leading into the Olympia. Supposedly he has had surgery to repair that. He should be good to go. Roelly Winklaar would love to win the show. He is not fully committed. However, we do know that he has committed and signed a contract for the Arnold Australia, which is just 2 weeks later. So, if you're already prepping for the Arnold Australia, why wouldn't you do the Arnold Ohio 2 weeks before? So if I'm a gambling man, I'm putting my money that Roelly Winklaar will be on that Arnold Classic Ohio stage March 5th, or 3rd through 5th, 2020. Last but not least, Johnny O. Jackson. He's coming out of retirement. If you've been looking at any of his social media, he's still been training hard. Of course he's going to train hard. He's a bodybuilder, a power lifter for life. He's never going to stop that. But he maintained his mass. He's been looking stage ready or close to it for quite a while. looking like he could get right back up there if he wanted to. And I guess retirement didn't sit too well with him. He's missing it, and he's coming back. So good for you, Johnny. Good to see you, man. So that is the update. So to reiterate, we will not be seeing Phil Heath, Dexter Jackson, or Shawn Rhoden at this Arnold Classic, but this is not sealed in stone, but most of these people are committed. We will be seeing Big Ramy, Steve Coock Low, most likely be seeing William Banach. We will see Josh Lonardo, Patrick Moore, Cederick Mcmillian, Johnny Jackson, and very, very likely Roelly Winklaar. So that's going to be looking like a very, very good show. We're going to be there doing full coverage, of course. Can't wait. It's always a great way to kick off the contest season. If you've never been out to the Arnold Classic, Ohio, you owe it to yourself to go at least once. The expo is just enormous. So many things to see and do out there. I can't recommend it highly enough. Everyone who considers himself a bodybuilding fan, I always say you should go to the Olympia at least once. You should go to the Arnold at least once. Give yourself that gift. You're going to see so many of your like-minded people. You know, if you're out in some remote area where there's no other bodybuilders and bodybuilding fans, you probably feel kind of like an outsider. But you go to these things, and let me tell you, it's your people. There's thousands and thousands of us there, people who live this lifestyle with the training and the eating and the supplements, and who follow the sport and appreciate it. So it's a good time. So I do encourage you guys, hurry up and get your tickets now, and especially get your hotel rooms, because the hotel rooms for Columbus, Ohio, they do book up very fast. I would get on that like right now. Otherwise, you could see yourself like a 20-minute Uber ride away in some other hotel outside of Columbus. That's it. Just want to give you guys a quick update. Of course, when the full list definitely comes out, we'll bring it to you. We'll give you a full report on that. And that's probably going to be within a couple weeks. Typically, that list comes out early December. So we will keep you informed. That's what we're here for. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. And we'll talk to you later.